When I found out I was pregnant, I was living on the streets, so to speak, with my ex-boyfriend at the time. I thought about keeping her for about a day, and then I realized that I didn't want to keep her because I felt if I kept her, I would just be a burden to her life. That I would not be able to give her what she deserves, and I would ruin her. I think my lowest point was after a month after I gave my daughter up. I really didn't care anymore about living or dying. And that's when the heavy partying came. I remember it was a really long weekend of partying, I guess you could say, and doing everything possible to lose myself in that weekend. That I woke up and it just, I don't know, it was like a cloud lifted. It was like the fog lifted from my eyes. And it was just this voice telling me that I needed to change who I was, that I needed to change my lifestyle. I honestly say that was the starting of a good thing for me. So on a whim, I went to Barnes & Noble bookstore and bought a Bible. So I read the Bible, and that was when I first had the feeling. It's hard to describe. It wasn't a tangible, first time I didn't have something tangible to hang on to, but I had a feeling that I was being watched, like eyes on the back of my head watching me. I had a choice, either to believe or not to believe. So I dug into the book of Matthew, and in Matthew is where I found God. So I continued to read the Bible every night, which is something I didn't even know what the Bible was before this point. I started to pray, which I don't know how to pray. I literally just got on my knees and started talking about my day and how the things I was struggling with. I remember the first thing Brandon said was that we're not about a religion here, we're about a relationship, and that it isn't about a bunch of rules to get into heaven. It's about building a relationship with Christ. And that was just like, I knew that's where I needed to be, because I felt I wouldn't be judged. I felt like I wanted that relationship with Christ. And if this was the church that was going to help me do that, that's what I want to do. Things got better. I quit partying altogether at some point. I quit doing all the self-destructive things of my life. I started even looking at the adoption of my daughter as a good thing and not as a bad thing. I didn't see myself as damaged or as unvaluable as I did before, and I realized that through Christ I could have purpose, that I didn't have to search for other purposes, that I could have purpose through Him, and that He could give me a reason to make a difference, even if it was a small difference. It made it so much better to live. It just gave me a reason to live, I guess you could say. It made me happy in the way that I never thought possible. So, I mean, there's no going back from that.